First things first, I'd like to just say thank you to 50 new people, 50 people total that have subscribed to my channel. Considering how slow the growth rate has been until I put myself out there on a couple of Facebook groups, I'm impressed. Thank you. I think I got 21 new people that subscribed, so thank you for that. First thing that I'd like to talk about, I'm not much of a tutorials kind of guy. I'm very impatient, so when I work on a project, I just want to work on the project and get it done. So I'm not going to be filming a whole lot of difficult stuff like when I'm working on a project. I don't know if you watched my other video, which was me working on my 125. I kind of showed a lot of what I was working on just for trial purposes. Not my cup of tea. If you'd like to see like highlights of what I'm working on, like say when I go to do the final assembly, if you want to see me put it together in a time lapse or something, I like time lapses, but when it comes to editing a bunch of different camera angles or just remembering to switch the camera around as I'm working on a project, that's not my style, so not going to see a lot of that. But yeah, I mean, if you want to see some, comment and I'll figure something out. I don't really like doing it, so probably not going to see a lot of that. That's boring. So let's take a look at what I've done so far, and unfortunately, because I didn't intend on doing this series, I haven't recorded anything else, so you just have to go with a summary. I think that'll be the easiest for this project as it sits. Currently, it is actually Sunday night. I know I told a bunch of people on Facebook that I was going to try to go and bang out in the next couple days. The creative juices when it comes to making a video just were not flowing, so I didn't make a video. That was the frame. I have that sandblasted, and I gotta finish sandblasting it actually. This is the rest of my mess. I was in the process of changing a tire about 5 minutes ago before I started this, and I realized I really should clean up this hub. It's not bad, but it's dirty. I need to clean that hub before I change the tire. It's a lot easier. I have a bunch of parts just laying around, triple clamps. Originally, the top triple clamp was actually anodized clear. You know, it was just silver colored. But because this bike had a lot of outside sit time, or just wasn't treated properly, it had all peeled and it looked bad. And obviously, aluminum tarnishes and doesn't look good after, you know, a short duration. So I decided just to paint them because the bottom triple clamp from the factory was already painted, so might as well. The front tire is pretty good condition, so I just did wheel bearings, all balls. Obviously, all balls is cheap, not the best, but for the price point, they're wheel bearings. They don't really last that long, so it's not really worth my money to spend a ton, and then I'm just going to have to replace them, you know, in a season or two anyways, because you get a little water in there and they're done for the most part. I did grease them. I pulled the seals out and I put better grease in them, and hopefully that helps, but yeah, they're wheel bearings. For tires, I actually went with Bridgestone Battlecross tires, X40. Yeah, X40. Yeah, right there, X40. I bought them from Parts Unlimited because they seem to have the cheapest deal on them. I run Battlecrosses on my 125, so that's why I kind of like these. But the only thing I didn't think about is these are actually 110 or 100s, and this thickness, and I liked the ones on my 125, which are a 90. So I don't know how these are going to go. I like the soft compound, but maybe because of how tall these are, they might be a little bit different. Because that 125 is also a 19-inch rim versus an 18. So we'll see what happens. It's better than the bald one that's right there. So we'll see what happens. If you guys have better tires that you can think of, I'll keep it in mind for next time, and you can leave that in the comments below. Here's the engine, or at least the bottom end. I haven't done a whole lot of work on this engine because I'm waiting for a different gasket. This gasket is not what I was expecting it to be. It's a moose gasket, and I'm not impressed with it. It's very thin and it's kind of papery. There's no like plasticky finish on it, and it's probably going to leak. So I ordered a separate individual gasket for this. I'm waiting on actually another dowel pin for the bottom case up here, and I'm waiting on a seal for my kickstart shaft. Those should be in the next couple days. As you can see here, I did all of the brake hubs and painted them, cleaned them up, sandblasted all the nasty residue out of them. It turned out okay. I mean, I painted the magnesium thing, didn't turn out the greatest, but the castings aren't the greatest either, so it's kind of hard to get that perfect. Mag cover, it's actually plastic, and as you can see on the 86, I wasn't really a fan of how that worked. Did the same thing here, except I used regular paint, and honestly I think the regular paint stuck a lot better. It has a smoother finish. This has kind of, you won't be able to see on camera, but it's like a really fine gritty texture to it. I'm not a fan of that. The water pump I did in epoxy as well, and again, it matches perfectly. You know, you can't see a difference there, but yeah, I didn't like it. As for the crank and the rod, it's actually just an OEM rod, which he had to hone and everything, the rod, because it was very badly damaged. And the crank, I don't know what crank rebuild kit he did. It's super buttery smooth. I just had a private guy do this. He does it on the side, but he does it performance for himself. He races power boats, so he does good work. The OEM is probably the best way to go. I'm not a huge fan of aftermarket cranks. I've heard a lot of bad things, so usually I just pay a little extra to have a stock crank rebuilt or buy another stock crank. That's personal preference though. Here's a jug. I actually ended up having to buy a new jug because the old jug was completely destroyed. I'll show you that right now. Here's the old jug, the one that came on it. Had a little bit of a rough life. The head surface, you're not going to be able to see it, and I won't be able to show it on camera, but some pretty good gouges from using a screwdriver to take the head off. Not my doing, previous guy. The cylinder, hopefully this lighting is pretty good. You can see some pretty good gouges in it. That would be because the kid who bought it before me, or that I bought it from, he bought it, rebuilt it, and promptly took it out and rode it with no proper heat cycles and assumably the wrong oil. I'm thinking he put like 50 to 1 like chainsaw oil in it, which is fine if the bike is set up for 50 to 1 and it's a high quality chainsaw oil, but it probably was not. As you can see, this piston had very little usage. A lot of the parts I get, I kind of just buy what I want. So I got, Motion Pro makes good mounts and stuff for cheap. All balls. There's nothing wrong with them if they're installed properly and you keep good oil on them, and all the above. Cometic gaskets. I didn't have a whole lot of options for gaskets, and I've had good luck with Cometic in the past, so I mean, why not? Went with some ASV levers. I think these things are going to look super dope once I'm done with the bike. You can't get levers for the exact 1986 that I have, so I actually ended up having to go with modern perches, which is for a 2006 Yamaha. That's the thickness and everything, and this is for a 2006 as well. The brake lever I don't have yet. It was on back order, so that'll be in soon. But the reason I went with the 2006 brake lever is this. As you can see here, this is definitely not a 1986 master cylinder. Their stock master cylinder was fine, but I wanted to do different levers, so I mean, you have to kind of upgrade your master cylinder to use different levers that aren't just metal like this. And since this is a bike I'm going to be keeping and I would like to kind of pimp it out, that's my reason for that. So, I mean, like I said before, the creative juices this weekend just were not flowing with me, and it was honestly too hot outside to do anything. I have air conditioning in here, but the humidity is just a killer. So that's why I didn't do a whole lot as far as work on this bike, and it's also why I didn't record anything previously. I wanted to have a video yesterday actually. So in the future I'm going to try to have Saturday night uploads for those of you who like to watch videos when they come out. But I'm not going to be super specific as far as making a video every week, due to the fact that sometimes, especially now, things are going to start slowing down. I've done all of the piddly stuff, such as painting the parts, and now it's going to come down to waiting like plastics and stuff, those are 3 weeks to come from Europe because that's the only place you can get plastics for 1986. My forks, which you can't see are behind the camera here, I'm waiting on parts for those to get them rebuilt. They need seals. Again, it's a huge waiting game, and they take a lot of time to work on. So I may take all week to get just the forks done, and there's no point in making a video if I only finish one thing. Yeah, so don't count on a video every week. I'm going to try to make a video every week, but not a 250 video. Hopefully something interesting, but it's been really hot and it's been raining. I think it's raining right now actually. So riding videos, again, not going to work out too well, but I'll make videos at least every week if anyone has interest. If there's something you'd like to see in specific, such as another video on the 125, or I have a Kawasaki 1971 Kawasaki F7, it's a 175. If you want to see that, comment. I'm good with showing that to you guys. I'll take it for a ride. It's an enduro bike, so you can go on the road with it. Stuff like that, if you want to see it, comment. If you want to see more riding videos, comment. If you want to see Adam videos, which I don't like doing those, but if you guys are entertained by them, comment. If you go back in my channel a little bit, you can find Adam videos. You'll know when you find them. You'll know. So if you want to see that kind of stuff, like I said, just comment and let me know. I don't know what you guys want. I know what I like doing, and I know the way I like to do it. But if there's something you want to see changed or a new subject, comment. It's the only way you can tell, communicate with me. So comments. Anyway, thanks for watching the video today. It's a short one. I didn't have a whole lot to show you. Subscribe there. Watch a different video over there. Leave a comment, like, share with your friends. If you know somebody who might like what I'm doing, share with your friends. I need subscribers. I love having people interested in what I'm doing. So, thanks.